I, oops, the meeting. Okay, got it. Very good. So just last check, can everybody can hear me and see me as well, right? Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes.
I believe so. Okay, very good. So as I said, my name is Tomas. I originally, as I could also a little bit understand from your presentation in Ukrainian, I come from Slovakia, so we are pretty neighbors. But I dedicated most of my hotel career in a foreign, mostly in was Spain for 8 9 years. Just to give you a little bit my feedback, just that, 8 9 years I lived and worked in let's say Spanish hospitality, talking about the huge vacation resorts which you maybe know, typical when you go for a holiday to the sea. That was my first part of the career. Then I switched into the, let's say, city hospitality, talking about completely different topic, which is the type of the hotel I am working is a business hotel, which is 80% of the customers are our also colleagues, or kind of colleagues, are people who comes to work to Switzerland mostly, not so leisure and tourism, just to separate the things. So the life brought me to Switzerland, to Zurich, where I also met your colleague Alexandra, the teacher, and we discussed that it would be not a bad idea to, or at least I also said that I see in daily tasks it's missing the education of the young generation and preparing themselves for work in hospitality if they choose so. So and the trends and the changes and the times are running extremely, because I just remember as it was last week 10 years ago or 12 years ago when I started, even my memories from 12 years ago, how the more or less the hospitality works, talking about the trends, technologies, and artificial intelligence, etc. Today we are, it's sometimes it looks like a 20, 30 years, not just 10, so it goes pretty fast. And then it's also very important to, what I would like to mention at the beginning, it's important to define, like to realize how diversity became the hospitality, how many alternatives and opportunities has a people who travel as a guest and people who want to work in hospitality as a students of the tourism, or people who want to dedicate their life in hosting people, or just to have something related to nice destinations maybe, or what kind of, basically what kind of hotel or what kind of hospitality, because that's very important sometimes to know, maybe already from beginning, to try to focus themselves already during the studies, or not just not that already. I don't want to say you need to choose immediately, but to don't forget that there is a lot of variety there, and just to find your, is the best to find your most comfortable space as soon as possible. The experience is always good. The plenty of experience. I hope I was lucky, but also it's because it's my type of my personality. I can tell I worked in more than 30 hotels around Spain, also Czech Republic, where during the 6 months was Prague, Switzerland, and Slovakia was just very at the beginning when I was a student, as a 16 years old. I did some waitressing, of course, in the summer. As so typical, I started my career as a waiter at 16 years old, just serving the drinks and doing the coffees. So there I want to come to the point how diversity is, and how it became uh, it became a global player also in economy, of course, and the trends which are coming with the hospitality needs to be adapted into the procedure, like talking about the big hotel chains. Right now, currently, I work for B&B in Switzerland. Just little correction, this chain has already more than 700 hotels worldwide. And the tempo last year in 2023 was about one new hotel every 7 days. So the company last year, they opened every week one new hotel somewhere around the world. Just that you can imagine the tempo of growing has just took this company, and many more, of course, many more, but depending on how they're using it. So now we can talk about perfectly 750 hotels. About 1 month ago, there was a first hotel for a company opened in United States in Orlando, just as a info, because that of course gives you many opportunities for, as I said, for people who wants to travel. Maybe some loyalty programs what we offer, or people who
or
wants to
people who want.
work, they have the opportunity also to travel. Let's say if you, of course, if you are working for a chain who has in more than 15 countries, and you start somewhere and then later you would like to change the destination, the chains like these are very good for that, because they can, of course, they have internal human resources systems, and can be much easier for you if you would like to change the destination and move somewhere else, you know. So when we are talking about the trends, I would like, of course, many of you for sure heard there is a lot of trends, always repeating topics in hospitality, in all, actually, in all the industries. But now talking about hospitality, as also it's just one lesson I would like to give you. I don't want to make it too long for you. I would pick, I by myself, I picked four of them, which I consider on my daily work very important, and like the keys. Now we are talking about the trends, and definitely I would start with number one, which I would dedicate to workforce, for another language, human resources, or any transformation to challenges from into opportunities. Now I'm definitely to say it a little bit easier is to to look for the right people and make right people to choose the industry to join. Because nowadays I can tell you there's a very it's a very it became pretty hard to hire a qualified professionals for
І
each
так,
industry. Now, especially if
приїжджала
we're talking
гофра,
about the
ну,
hospitality,
цей Востпан.
that means it became very hard topic, because there is less and less students or people who like to join this industry. That has for sure a lot to do with the pandemic, which millions or billions of people left the hospitality and never came back. That definitely was a big impact, and now it's harder for companies for to or to bring them back or to offer something to hire a new people, you know. So that's our challenge number one, because this industry never sleep. We are 24/7. For example, three stars hotels and more, they have to have 24/7. So it's also not that easy, not even for workers or for me as a manager, to be in charge of the business who is running 24/7. So my weekend, sometimes this weekend I was lucky. There was no phone call, no emergency call. I didn't have to move from home. It was very bad weather anyway. But sometimes that's hard, because normally the hotels run 24/7, or the hotel industry. And talking about the working conditions, different kind of shifts. So all these as a companies are trying to basically make it better. That's the main goal for this number one topic. It's to try to make the working conditions for possible candidates who wants to join the hospitality, to really make them come, to offer them maybe kind of comfortable working shifts, of course, the competitive salary, working benefits. And then it's really important, of course, if you are applying for a hotel, a chain of five hotels or a chain of 500 hotels. And of course, bigger the company is, the more opportunities they have. And I can tell you also, as I already passed several different companies, all of them, all of them are really last year investing a lot of incredible money and making is very important into the hiring, training, and in general making the workers, trying to make them stay. Also, the goal is to hire someone that he also stays, not that he leaves in 1 week or a month or in a half a year. Of course, we are in the freedom. You can always do whatever you want, yes, but the goal is, of course, that also as a professional that you get some experience through some years, and because it needs time to get experience to get into the manager or leader position. Normally it need experience, definitely it requires, because that's what gives you that empower later. When I was started as a waiter, then I was also in working in a kitchen. I was several years at the reception of the hotel, which is the heart of the hospitality. I was as well as entertainer in hospitality in the resorts in Spain. So I'm pretty glad that I made all kind of departments before I became manager, which I could only recommend to anyone who is even starting to think about maybe possible career in hospitality in terms of growing more and more. Then there is nothing better than to try every department. For example, in Maya, the medium at least 6 months to give it some number. It's not necessary to be 2 years waiter, 2 years or 3 years in the kitchen, 5 years at the reception. It's individual. Everyone can decide how wherever you feel comfortable. Maybe yes. I have also have friends in this environment who did it, who really did many years in one position, and then he waited for his promotion. But at least the mostly what here in Switzerland as a students they must do it's a 6 months or even 1 year in one department. And so if you will make 6 months, half a year, or 1 year in department of F&B, yeah, definitely 6 months or half a year, depend how the hotel could offer you the internship in F&B, then in the reception. Very common is that you go as when you apply as students that you do all departments in one hotel. It's very different options, but my recommendations stay the same. Just it's if you do like not just a practicum, I'm not talking about 2 or 3 weeks. It needs to be really if it's at least 6 months, half a year or more in each department, even in housekeeping, yeah, even in the F&B, even in the reception, of course. Reception is a must. I don't know almost even the hotel manager who never worked at the reception and the front desk before. 99% of the managers they passed to this department, you know. That was like talking about the more HR and HR perspective. It's it's always the education, as I said, it's education, and it's a drive of the companies to offer to students or a young generation in general to offer them something to get them attention, to apply, make them apply for the position and join the company and grow with them. That would be my point of view for HR. Directly switching, of course, it's always connected, right? Now, as my second point would be the technologies. What a surprise, right? What a surprise! Definitely technologies. And I would mention, of course, especially which are in my hotel or the hotels I worked, or which are very common in Switzerland. Something is very common in Spain, etc. So that would be definitely contactless services, where I would really like to mention in the contactless services, big plus and big minus. Let me start with the minus that we have the negative part behind. Definitely, it's the every technology who offer some another contactless service mean almost one working spot lost. Yeah, so this maybe one job position is disappearing because of the technologies. We all know that, but I would like to always to point that point. And the second is definitely what we have in daily as our daily bread. It's cyber threats. So definitely cybersecurity, because in our daily basis we are getting the emails to our hotel address, which are every time more and more pretending, more and more looking super real reservations, real, but at the end behind it's a big cyber threats and cybersecurity. It's always in danger. For that, talking about the huge companies who are which you're talking about the really big amount of the money who is in in the air, let's say, yeah, in the cables. So that would be like just quickly the negative points of the technologies, which I really, as I said, every day I'm also coming in contact with, talking about the cybersecurity. And then some positive, of course. Most of them are positive, definitely. Why wouldn't be here if the technologies wouldn't be mostly positive? So definitely, for example, typical e-concierge, yeah, that you have in our hotel. We have every room. We have a QR code, which is once you scan it, you find all the information you need almost you would normally ask at the reception, for example, no? Talking about the timetables of all services in a hotel, for example, check-in, check-out, near restaurants, public transport, etc., 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 etc. That's why it's called e-concierge, which I find as a big helper. And for example, another one, it's a digital keys. Many hotels, these most of the hotel has just the cards. In B&B, there is little keyboard on the door, and you need to once you made do the check-in, you become 6-digit digital key. This it's very comfortable solution. It is, but definitely I would like to mention also the negative. Of course, technologies sometimes also fail. So what many times happens that because of some IT reason, which sometimes nobody knows, the code which system creates doesn't work. So the guest needs to come back from the room to reception, and we have to make a new code. That's a little avoided. Now, not it's not very often, but again, sometimes happen as well as a consequences of the technologies. At 90% is that help us. There is still 10% where yeah, technologies sometimes are not. Sometimes you say it's not really the best. Because there is some downtime system, etc. Sometimes can happen that your system is lost, the Wi-Fi, the stop to work, and your systems are a little bit blocked for some seconds. This is things which happens to me in every hotel, every country. There really doesn't matter that you are in plenty of check-ins. You have the line of the people in front of you. Your phone is ringing all the time because I'm doing many times the reception if I have to. And in that moment, your system gets blocked. And then nothing moves. And you have the people in front of you waiting to check in. They are business people, they are in rush. So then it's coming to another point, which is for any importance is to know hotel you are working for, and for example department as the front office, which I'm talking now, which is the most difficult, I would say, for the psychology aspect, for the reason I just mentioned. The phone is ringing at the same one and one time you are making check-in, and then is behind from the right side is bothering you some really angry guest who has some his reason. And in that moment, sometimes you are like, okay, so that is very important to stay focused. And it's like in general to work in hospital. We work with people, we work for people. In this case, technology doesn't help us, and I still hope that this will still stay for long. Because the last point of the technologies is that I already experienced the hotel. For sure, you heard about some. Maybe some of you already experienced the hotel where you just checked in without to meet any person. So you just come to the hotel, and there is just big iPads or any big huge tablets which you just need to enter your datas, your confirmation number, and the system check you in, and you don't meet anybody. Which is also okay, maybe for nighttime, for some basic accommodations, it's fine. But I hope this will never hospitality will lose, because the human contact and the check-in, it will be never same if you do it with a robot, with a tablet, and if you're doing it with a human being. You know? Talking about technologies, now number 3 point for me, also regarding the diversity in hospitality and the trends, it's a definitely culinary experience, or let's call it maybe easier F&B world, food and drinks, food and beverages, which has also its own part, own trajectory of developing, of the marking the trends, and where the what a craziness still is coming with it. So by B&B, for example, that's one of the very interesting difference for me. It's we the B&B concept has no restaurants. So B&B hotels, we belong to the category which is called Garni hotels. So it's not official hotel 3 stars or 4 star. It is, we are 3 stars, but it's called Garni hotel category. That means we are not obligated, we don't need to have restaurants. We have a place, we have a lobby bar with the bar where we serve the breakfast. That's right. We don't have any restaurant in the hotel, so we don't have to deal, fortunately, with lack of stuff regarding F&B stuff, because that's even the worst nowadays. When I talked about the stuff before, F&B world, so the cookers, the waiters, it's more and more. They are missing more and more. So I'm pretty glad that I don't have to deal with it. But in other hotels, of course, where you have the restaurants and big restaurants where you need a lot of waiters, then might be a problem. But then is coming, of course, there is coming the ideas of the companies which they need to adapt to that, and they need to still try to create a working environment where they got to people, got to know them, and work for them. So there are some hotels who has, for example, I worked in a hotel with the 7 restaurants or 12 bars. That's incredible amount of the people and incredible amount of the task you need to do. Another interesting to compare the hotel I am a manager right now. We have 142 rooms, and we are, let's say, as I said, business hotel focusing on the short term staying in Zurich, coming to work for work, or maybe for concert, or maybe for some events. But we are not even in the center, so. But then I also worked in the hotel at Mallorca with 700 rooms, with 2,500 customers inside in the summer season, and it was all 100% all inclusive. That means there was 2,500 guests for breakfast, 2,500 for the lunch, and 2,500 for dinner. And I'm not saying I'm not missing that experience, but I'm incredibly glad, and I would definitely recommend to you who would like to join that, try to travel maybe a little bit, who would like to live by the somewhere in different countries. For example, my in my heart will always stay the Spain. Yeah, I started my career in Canary Islands, coming through the Mallorca, 2 years in Barcelona, and just the impact is insane also on your personality if once you learn another language. That's another topic which I didn't mention. But okay, there are always many. More languages we learn, more opportunities you have. That's also gave me the opportunity to join Switzerland in this way. And to don't go more from the topic, I will go to number 4, which I marked, and it is a green hospitality, which is also for sure the world known to you. So definitely green hospitality, eco hospitality. Every chain has a different politics, different name for it, because more, of course, bigger chain is bigger hotel company, more responsibility they have regarding the sustainability and of course recycling. So there is a topic number 1 in hospitality nowadays as well. It's the sustainability, how we can keep this kind of powerful impact of tourism, which is now again back to pre-pandemic times, where the airports are mostly full, where the hotels are really mostly full. Now it's starting the season, summer season soon. I already heard that there is almost no possible to book the hotel in Mallorca in July, August. And but we need to always think also ourselves, once we are the student or we are the worker in the hotel, how we can really help to work to provide to little bit to be part of it, because it always starts at the end with every one of us by at home. If you throw to the same trash, plastic bottle, and maybe some biologic trash. So the same, and imagine on the level of the hospitality, imagine on the level of my hotel is not big, but still it's 142 rooms. So if there is 140 trash bags every second day, imagine the amount of the that we produce. So of course and luckily this I have to mention here in Switzerland is it very strictly controlled and in very high level of management, talking about the trash organizations or trash management, like regarding the homes, the same hospitalities and businesses. So we decided as a hotel, for example, we don't have space to have huge containers for every part, but we decided to choose the program from our partner who is making it for us to pay a little bit higher amount in order to they do it for us. So we can throw, let's say, together, but there is a company between before they go into the final destination that they separate it for us, and to have a patience for colleagues, for our coworkers, for guests, because it doesn't matter whatever you do in hospitality or how angry somebody can makes you. That's what I learned mostly. Is very important to keep always calm and the ability to adapt yourself in environment you are. So there, I mean, if I have to mention some positive, something, let's say, also negative, of course, because I don't want to always talk about only the positive, which I find as a weakness. It's for example, me myself cost me to adapt to this environment here when I moved from Spain, for example, because the people's culture and the mentality is very much different. I don't even work with I don't have even a Swiss colleague at work. In Switzerland, most of the stuff it's also from all around the world. We are super multicultural team, and that's what makes it sometimes difficult. If you have 10 colleagues and all of them are different nationalities and different culture, it's like another extra point for to make it more difficult to keep the working balance, working atmosphere nice, and that everything works. And that's, of course, that's always the challenge for a manager, or even in the hotel, or actually in any company. So it's very important to try to adapt, not try to be able to adapt into the place or the country where currently we are, because in my personal experience it was from beginning not how I expected, and so then I realized, okay, something is not correct, something is not really working, because I was not feeling so comfortable, so confident like in Spain. So the patience with people, and the drive to work with them, it's the key, absolutely. And every single possible candidate for hospitality environment needs to really have clear it if it's something what he or she is looking for. Of course, somebody at the beginning, you need to always at least try it, but as fast each of you as a students, talking about students, is as fast each of you realized what is your what is the best word, what is your really right place regarding the type of the hospitality or type of the company, the philosophy of the company, the size of the company. As fast you realize that you are there, or that you are located in your area, then easier will be for you to move, to learn, and especially to have a clear vision that how long you want to stay there. Always make a kind of plan, have a plan. That's the best what's possible, to have a plan, your own plan. Maybe more plans. Me personally, I used to have already tried to make plan B, C, and D. Okay. It's nice to have something, well, but plan B, okay, at the beginning, but later with the age, when you will be making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years of working experience, you will see that it's not sometimes bad to have more plans, and like this you are prepared for anything that might comes. You know, nobody knew when the pandemic was coming. Our sector was really, really, really damaged, right? Everybody knows that. I mean, personally, I had also that experience that during the when the pandemic came, I was just without any contract because I was between season at Mallorca, and I lost my job. Let's say I didn't have any support. I was completely just look for yourself. But I was in the last semester of my master studies, so I used it for good, and in that time, and I invested the time because I have nothing else to do to my last semester, to my master thesis and my state exams. So that would be my also another recommendation to when you will be in deciding where you invest your time, yeah, think about it. Think about it definitely as much you can, and then it will just make the life easier, I believe. So now, of course, it's difficult to, as I have as I don't see almost nobody, so I also the reaction, I don't know like what kind of faces are there watching or not. So I don't know if there would be some questions, then I would be definitely open to answer them, or any advices or anything I can answer. Please feel free to talk.
Please, Yaroslava.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. One more time, Mr. Strela, I'm so thankful for just your speech today and the ideas you shared with us, your vision of how the hospitality business will go on. And actually, first, I would like to compliment to how you adore your job and your work. It feels through the screen, you know. And when you say that you work for people and the people is like, you know, the main thing you work for, it really feels. And I believe that another fact you have said about how some people actually think, will a robot replace us or not? I believe that in your sphere, it's actually good that it wouldn't be that, you know, effective, and very soon we believe, because it's really important, and I'm so thankful for that you're kind of understanding how important your business and your job is. Actually, my question I would like to ask you is more closer how we as scientists or educational sector can be useful for your business, because you already mentioned, for example, these kind of hotels, bed and breakfast ones, and how cheaper they are. And thinking about pandemic, which was a crisis time for the whole sphere and industry, just how can education and how can science help hotel business to me to be and to stay competitive according to those, you know, B and B hotels and so on. So maybe it's actually how you think, how
Absolutely.
is your forecasting of that? How science.
Absolutely, absolutely. You are right. Just directly answer will be to connect it. To connect it. That's what I mean. Of course, directly. Unfortunately, not all, or I'm not so long, not so long in this company or in this country, but at the moment, for example, in Spain, I had very good experience, or also here in Switzerland, but with another company, where are the official collaborations between the hotels and the schools and the universities. And that's, of course, then it's not possible to make it without the teachers, because then really, as I said, there will be maybe in the future. I don't know. I'm not sure how long we'll stay. But for example, B&B in Germany, as I heard, I don't have this information that I studied them, but I heard from another my colleagues as a general managers in B&B in Germany, they have their academy as well. For example, for future workers coming to the, it's something between academy, not university, of course, but it's some kind of educational institution where they are hiring also the professionals, like mixing me and you in order to prepare the students, people for future, you know. So my answer will be definitely what would be, again, still here I'm still too small player to make this decision, because we are, if it's a so big company, it grows a little bit, it runs somewhere else. But I would propose to connect the company with the educational institutions, and then definitely would be, then of course the opportunity, the options for collaborations are many, you know. But what I also know how in Switzerland it works. So if you are if you are school and there is a hotel and there is a collaboration, so basically the teachers are of course having the meetings also with hoteliers, in order to hoteliers explain the teachers what their needs are. Obviously, who knows it better? So I would sit with you if there would be any official cooperation between between company I work for and between the educational institution you work for. So we could sit. I could tell you what is our. I would present you my vision, and you would take care to, you know, you in your classes, you know the students the best, and you would be the one who would be kind of making the pre-selections, or in order to send the students to the right places to make their internship, for example. That's what I would see as you as a scientist, as a professional, because I'm very close to academic area. Also would like to future maybe to step a little bit in there. So definitely these two worlds should be connected, and that's the best way. Of course, for example, one way was very nice, which Olena, the way she contacted me, that's another example. Okay, there was an example when we meet at the educational events. So it's important probably to participate in educational events, not only for the first reason for why you all go there, but maybe also for another secondary reasons, for another contacts, which gives you now the opportunity. Which Olena came there, she contacted me, and we have now opportunity to discuss this now, you know. So that's more that's a little bit more underground, let's say, or kind of yeah, very spontaneous, but very nice, of course. But definitely on the higher level, it should be that there is an official cooperation, you know, and then you could have you could bring your knowledge between students and professionals and make them work together.
Thanks a
Yeah.
lot for your answer. Yeah, let's believe that even today's our meeting will be like a drive and a boost for future collaboration. So thanks again.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, dear Thomas. Another questions, dear colleagues? Could you ask, dear Thomas, what task do you set for you themselves as a manager for the future?
Sorry, again, what tasks?
Do you to set for themselves as a manager for the future?
To the managers, what I would say.
Yes.
Okay. Be brave. Be very brave, and especially if you will be trying to reach something in a country which is not yours, because very big difference. You know, I come from Slovakia, but I made it in Spain, and I made it in Switzerland. Nobody never give me nothing for free, zero. I grow up with only with my mom, and I started from the zero, and there was lot of downs. There were ups, there were downs, but for some reason I had, staying brave. It's a little bit, and I had many times, yeah, come back, don't worry, you can always come back home, etc. I was told, but I always had like my vision and my goals, and I want to do something much more than just try, and if it doesn't work, then I go back. And once I learned languages, when I learned Spanish, I learned German as well, and then I learned English together with that. With my mother language is Slovakian and Czech, and now you can't imagine the opportunities I was offered for that, you know. And so be brave, learn languages. Even there is also the artificial intelligence is growing. This I'm really proud of myself. This will never beat someone who speaks 4 or 5 languages, any translator. So learn languages, be brave, and do what you want to do, or the best, yeah, do what you like to do. Sometimes it's hard. Also, even for me right now, I'm not really in the best period talking about the work. But it's always like this. There will be always worse moments and the bad moments, and it's always up to us how we face to it. So I always try to face to it with the power, you know, and without to giving up. Or if they want to change the sector, that's another challenge. It's another thing, you know. But when you know what you want to do, just do it for 100%. Sometimes 150, especially if you are younger. Once you show that you know what to do, then it's gonna be easier, you know. But to be patient, if you wanna work in hospitality, even if it's gonna be in Ukraine, I really believe the hotels in Ukraine, they will have also multicultural stuff in the hotel. I don't believe there will be 100% Ukrainian workers talking only Ukrainian, right? So if we will be working in the hospitality, there is always importance to know more languages. Now, guys, English don't take English anymore really as a foreign language in the world. English, it's a must. It's automatic. It's be able to speak in English. It's already very very, as I said, it's a must, or it should be. Would make it your life at least. It's like the minimum fluent English, and then of course more languages you learn, more opportunities you have. For me, to learn Spanish give me opportunity to grow up in Spain and to become the manager there as well. To be able to speak German, give me opportunity to become the manager in Switzerland, in Zurich, etc., etc. And I'm sure if I really would love to, which I don't go for sure, but if I want to go to England, for example, I can become the manager there very soon. French, not. I don't speak French, but English, for example, anywhere, or even United States. My dream was also to go to Caribbean, the whole Latino America world, because now in my hotel we receive a lot of Latino customers, the big buses, five, seven, eight buses every week of the Latino Americans coming to Zurich. So I using my Spanish in Zurich more than anything, even sometimes more than German. So you never know how you can use something when what you learn, which is really good. And in these terms, I was a little bit worrying coming to Switzerland. It's a little bit pity. I know already that Spanish so well is like my mother language, but at the end, it was incredible help because I came here, and here is also incredible, huge Hispanic Spanish talking community, and also a lot of people, as I said, traveling here who really appreciate when they come here and I'm starting to talk to them in Spanish. They are really glad for always. So it gives you always plus for it. So learn languages, more personality, right?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Dear colleagues, dear students, do you have another questions?
Yes, I have another question.
Okay.
How do you manage the rapid expansion of opening a new hotel every 7 days? What strategies do you employ to ensure consistent quality across all your hotels, despite the quick pace of explanation?
Just the beginning of the question was one more time.
How do you manage the rapid expansion of opening a new hotel every 7 days?
Expectation, no.
Expansion.
Expansion, like costs.
Yeah.
Yes. Thinking about the numbers, right? Okay. Yes. Well, that's is more. Of course. I'm also the one, for example, who is making the orders and who is purchasing the material and the food and stuff, etc., and managing the costs. So, but luckily, it's not. My job is more to keep the balance where everybody has at the end of the month zero balance regarding now the workers, for example, in terms of vacations, holidays days, free days, bank holidays, etc. So that's really the line that nobody, because here as well, once you work, is you are not just to work. You have here in Switzerland, you have some vacation days per year which you need to take, etc., etc. So I need to always make sure that at the end of the month, it stays everything on zero, more or less. Yeah, that it's balanced. The same with everything. And then, of course, I got reports from our head office because our head office is in France. Also, the financial and accountant department is in France, in Brest. So we get the numbers from them in Excel, which always show us how we are. If we are in a green, in yellow, or in red. So basically, if we are in a green, it's a perfect. If we are in yellow, that means you are more or less okay, but you have to be careful with that part which is in red of the costs. And if you are red, obviously, then you have to try to make the cost down. Like what we had, for example, most of the problematic is always the staff and the personnel because we are a whole year open hotel. like during the whole year from January until end of the December, but every month is different. It's like a little bit like a graphic, you know. And if you have occupancy of the hotel lower, then of course you have to. They expect you to have also less stuff, you know. So you need to manage that your cost goes, which is one of the most challenging parts, yes, because it was a little bit easier in Spain during the seasons because there were a lot of seasonal contracts. Here we don't do seasonal contracts. We have the whole year full-time workers. So then it's a little bit harder to sometimes to keep the budget, you know. But at the end of the year must be at the end of the year it counts the whole year. So it's not even the week, it's not even the month. Important is of course it's a month. Of course, when I see that I go every month red, something goes wrong, you know. But every month needs to be the balance again that at the end of the year that we achieve our goals. We have some goals from the company which we have set up, which how much money needs to be that made, how much cost needs to be there, and that's we need to follow. And this is our guide. This is the main guideline for manager. It's the budget, which is marked by the company, and which they want you to achieve. That would be, I think, my grand.
Thank you, dear Thomas. Dear colleagues, do you have more questions? No, okay. Dear Thomas, we had the opportunity to get acquainted with the peculiarities of working in hotels, which are very, very important for our students. And it's as if we visited your hotel. Thank you for your experience, for your recommendation for our students. It's very important for us. Thank you. And dear colleagues, I'd like to say to Thomas, thank you very much. Thank you from all of us. And we have very small wishes to have possibility to connect with you in future for our students. Thank you very much. And
You're welcome.
thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. Stay safe and yeah, enjoy the life. And I will be happy to meet you next time in another lesson. Why not?
Okay, thank you.
Right? You're welcome. Bye bye.